Hello, lads, lassies, and those of unspecified gender, it's the Irishman here, and today I'm going to be talking about what would have happened if Bardock had achieved the Super Saiyan God transformation against Frieza. To make all this work, we're not only going to be using Bardock from dragonballsuper and all the information we have on him from there, we're also going to be assuming that Bardock, father of Goku, as well as the episode of Bardock special are both canon. Bardock here would still have his foresight. This is going to be a key detail for this story, because after using his foresight for the first time, seeing Frieza destroying planet Vegeta, cackling maniacally as the Saiyan race is being brought to extinction, Bardock would bring this information to King Vegeta personally. And King Vegeta, hearing about this and at first thinking Bardock was insane, would begin to think about it a bit more. It is a bit weird that Frieza would schedule a specific time and place for all of the Saiyans to come grouped in one vulnerable place. Now, granted, the Saiyan race in its entirety would be able to kill Frieza, but at the same time, that would probably scare Frieza, and if he wanted to, he could take the cheap shot and kill all of the Saiyans at one time. King Vegeta realizing that, yeah, Bardock might just be right, and if he is telling the truth about this strange alien race giving him some foresight ability, then Bardock is probably right. Which means Frieza is going to try and destroy the planet and kill off every single Saiyan. So King Vegeta would take this into his own hands, getting multiple of his strongest men and bringing them by his side into Frieza's ship and confronting Frieza personally, much like what we saw in the original. But then Frieza would just kind of murder all of them, just as if they're cannon fodder. There's no reason to believe that King Vegeta, even with some of the strongest Saiyans, would be able to put up even a slight fight against Frieza here. But as this being the straw that breaks the camel's back, everyone in a high standing in the Saiyan race, or at least in the monarchy of the Saiyan race, would understand that they were right. Frieza is going to try and destroy the planet of the Saiyans, as well as kill off every single Saiyan that inhabits said planet. And so, with Bardock as their leader, they would rally every single Saiyan that would arrive on that planet together and give the speech of a lifetime. And as Frieza is preparing to destroy every single Saiyan, Bardock would fly into the air with every single Saiyan on the planet lending their energy to him. Not in a spirit bomb sense, but giving away their energy to him as their symbol of hope. Every last bit of power, energy, and hope they have would be placed into Bardock. And through the 70 to 100 billion people that would occupy the Saiyan planet, and yes, that number is accurate. If you want to know what I mean, go check out my video talking about how there are way more Saiyans than you might at first think. At least 5 of them would have pure hearts, and this would allow Bardock to achieve the legendary power of the Super Saiyan God transformation. And this, laid on top of his already godly base power, would make Bardock basically unstoppable. And yes, Bardock's base power would be godly, as he would take in all of the power from every single Saiyan on planet Vegeta, and all of that power would attribute to his base form alone, and then multiply that by the multiplier of the Super Saiyan God form. I personally believe it's about 20,000, and you get an unstoppable threat. And to put Bardock's base power in numbers for you, my fellow number nerds, Bardock would be taking in 70 billion people's energy. Each of these people who would have a base power level, or I guess just a power level since none of them really have transformations outside of Ozaru, of about 5,000. Now, this might seem weird, as Raditz had a power level of around 1,500, and there are probably more low-class Saiyans than there are high-class Saiyans, but if you take every single Saiyan's power into account, then you have an average of around 5,000 per person. And again, multiplying that number by 70 billion, and you get around 350 billion, if not more, but I like 350 billion. So we're going to go with that. This should be around what power level Goku would have in his first Super Saiyan God iteration in Battle of Gods. And well, frankly, that's insane. This would mean the Bardock we are seeing here in the legendary Super Saiyan God transformation would be more akin to the second iteration of Super Saiyan God we saw with Goku in the Battle of Gods movie. After he drops out of the form, achieving Super Saiyan God levels in base, and then retransforms into Super Saiyan God to ricochet Frieza's Death Ball. Well, Beerus' Death Ball, but here I guess it would be Frieza's. I'm leaving that in, only because that's a fun little mistake I just made. Now, nevertheless, this version of Bardock would be so far ahead of Frieza here, it hurts. And this is first form Frieza, not his final form, and even if it was his final form, he doesn't stand a chance against this version of Bardock. But Frieza doesn't know that. Not only can he not sense powers, even if he could, Bardock is using God Ki here. And so, once Frieza sends his Death Ball down to destroy Planet Vegeta, but before the blast can even leave his hand, Bardock would appear in front of Frieza, grabbing his hand and snapping his wrist, instantly breaking his bone. And then, as Frieza would scream out in pain, he would go to use his other hand to hit Bardock, but Bardock would easily just deflect the attack. And then Frieza would shoot back, being able to get out of Bardock's hold, only because Bardock would let him. He would then say that Bardock's going to regret this. He doesn't know exactly how Bardock is this strong, but it doesn't matter, as no matter how powerful he is, he cannot stand up to the full power of Frieza, the Emperor of the Universe, as he would then transform into his final form instantly, realizing he can't play around here. And so Frieza would then shoot a barrage of death beams, laughing as he thinks there's no way Bardock could survive this. But Bardock, almost as if he is making after images of himself, phasing through the death beams, before appearing in front of Frieza once again, before saying coldly, "Is it my turn now, Frieza?" Frieza would then look on, shocked and terrified, before saying, "This can't be!"
"Oh, but it can. And it is. I am the thing you have always feared. I am the light in the darkness. I am the Super Saiyan!"
Before punching Frieza straight in the gut, sending him upwards. And then, in a cowardly attempt, clenching his gut in pain, Frieza would shoot a Death Ball as fast as he can down at Planet Vegeta, and Bardock, realizing this cheap move as it's too late, would jump in front of the Death Ball, being able to hold it back temporarily, but then he would get another vision, seeing Frieza in a golden, glowing light, standing over someone with a similar hairdo to his own, before he would deduce that it's Kakarot. He would shout out in fear, "Run, son! He's too much for you!" But he couldn't hear him. And then, as Bardock is sent back into reality, he would see that the Death Ball has now gravely injured him, and Frieza has just shot a death beam through his chest. And as Bardock is now reverting back to base form, his eyes going back to black instead of the glowing red, Frieza would send another supernova, saying, "Now you and your Super Saiyan can go straight to hell! Die, monkey!" As the supernova would then hit Bardock, beginning to engulf him, his armor would then tear off of his body, his skin beginning to burn. As he would look on, he would reminisce, saying that he's failed his Saiyan brethren, he's failed Gine, and more so, he's failed his son, both of his sons, Raditz and Kakarot, and then he would ask for their forgiveness. before then seemingly fading on, as everything would then go black.
Hiya, friend. How'd you sleep?
Where am I? Who are you? Where's Frieza?
Wow, settle down, buddy. I don't know who this Frieza guy is, but he isn't here. I guess he's probably the guy who roughed you up so bad. Thank God for our magical healing splooge. If it wasn't for that, you'd probably be dead right now.
I don't give a damn about you or your splooge. Do you have any space pods around here? I need to get back to Planet Vegeta. I have to make sure they're alright.
I'm not sure what a space pod is, but I'm pretty sure we don't have any of those.
What do you mean you don't have any space pods? How else do you get off planet? Unless you guys can teleport or something.
We can't do that, but why would we need to get off planet? We have everything we need right here.
God, if I hadn't become a better person, I would have massacred all of you in a matter of minutes. Wouldn't have been hard either. I can sense how weak you are. Wait. Since when could I sense that? Never mind, Frieza probably has his planet on his radar. I just have to wait until some of his troops land here and then I can take their ship. It's gonna take a while, but it's worth it.
Bardock would then leave, finding his own place to stay. He's a better person, but he's not super social. After about a day or two, Bardock would catch up on sleep, as well as making sure that all of his wounds would be healed, and because of the magical healing splooge of the inhabitants of Planet Plant, he would be back up to full capacity. But then, he would sense powers raging on somewhere not too far away. Feeling this sensation again, realizing it's people but not knowing exactly how he knows, he would fly off, seeing two people attacking innocent bystanders who didn't really do anything. He doesn't know how, but he could sense it, and he could sense that these people were in danger, and he would go to help, as his first instinct. And then, with ease, Bardock would send a beam out of his hand, which would destroy the two soldiers, killing them in an instant. And then the beam would continue, hitting the small, fragile ship that they had came there on. Bardock would be pissed, but after seeing the way the ship looked, it probably wouldn't have got him very far anyway. He would then return to his cave, and for the next few days, would begin trying to re-tap into the power he had against Frieza. But he just isn't able to access it. He's only able to gain a portion, and that portion is so small, it only makes him capable of fighting against maybe the Ginyu Force. But that's still pretty strong, right? Well, yeah, but in comparison to what Bardock had against Frieza, it's nothing. It's barely even a footnote. But that doesn't seem to be Bardock's biggest problem at the moment, as somebody eerily similar looking to Frieza would arrive on the planet. And this is Bardock's opportunity. Now, he knows this isn't Frieza, it's obvious. They do look similar, but they're not the same person. But this doesn't deter Bardock. This person is similar enough to Frieza where he has to at least be in the same race as Frieza, and fighting against someone from the same race who probably has similar power, well, that would allow Bardock to re-tap into the power he had. And, of course, Bardock knows that King Cold exists, and he's Frieza's father, so it's entirely possible this could be Frieza's uncle or second cousin once detached. He's hoping, by fighting this man, he would be able to reclaim the same power he had against Frieza, and so after dispatching of his underlings, Bardock would go for the main course. But after taking the first bite, he would realize it's cold to the touch, and its name is Chilled. And that's where we're going to be ending off for today. Expect part 2 relatively soon, and I hope you enjoyed. I definitely had fun making it, and if you had fun watching it, please, for me, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way you are notified whenever I release any sort of new content. I hope you have a great day. This is, always has been, and always will be the Irishman. Talk to you later. Bye.